The world watched in shock as news broke of Ismail Haniyeh's assassination. The Hamas leader was killed in Tehran, Iran. Both Hamas and Iran pointed the finger at Israel. This follows another high-profile killing in Beirut. These events have escalated tensions in the Middle East. Israel has not officially claimed responsibility. Some Israeli officials support the assassination. They argue it is a blow to Hamas. Many in the international community have condemned the act. The assassination marks a turning point in the conflict. The path forward remains uncertain. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh has been met with widespread condemnation. Countries around the world have expressed outrage and concern. The international community is united in its denouncement of the killing. Hamas immediately condemned the assassination. They called it a desperate attempt by Israel to crush their resistance. Hamas vowed to avenge Haniyeh's death. Iran echoed these sentiments. Both the Iranian president and supreme leader pledged retaliation. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas also condemned the assassination. Abbas called for unity among Palestinians. He stressed the need for a united front against Israeli aggression. Abbas also renewed calls for a Palestinian state. Various Palestinian factions expressed solidarity with Hamas. They condemned the killing and called for a strong response. The international community has spoken with a unified voice. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh is a dangerous escalation. The act threatens to unravel the fragile peace in the Middle East.
The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, expressed concern over the assassination. While acknowledging Israel's right to self-defense, the U.S. government also emphasized the need for de-escalation and a return to dialogue. This measured response reflects the U.S.'s complex relationship with both Israel and Hamas.
European countries have largely condemned the assassination, calling for restraint and a de-escalation of violence. The European Union in particular has been vocal in its criticism of the killing, urging all parties to avoid actions that could further inflame tensions.
Russia and China, both permanent members of the UN Security Council, have condemned the assassination and called for a thorough investigation. Their responses reflect a broader concern about the use of extrajudicial killings and the potential for such actions to destabilize the region.
These varied responses underscore the complex geopolitical landscape and the delicate balance of alliances in the Middle East. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh has significantly heightened tensions in the Middle East. Many fear this event could lead to a wider conflict. The potential for escalation is very real. Hamas, fueled by grief and anger, may feel compelled to retaliate. They could target Israeli civilians or military installations. Such an attack would almost certainly provoke a harsh response from Israel. This cycle of violence could quickly spiral out of control. Iran's vow of revenge adds another layer of complexity. As a major regional power, Iran has considerable military capabilities. They also support a network of militant groups in the region. Iranian retaliation could take many forms. They could strike Israeli interests directly or through their proxies. The assassination of Haniyeh has created a dangerous and unpredictable situation in the Middle East. The international community must work quickly to prevent further escalation. The risk of a wider conflict is very real. In the wake of the assassination, the international community has issued urgent calls for restraint. World leaders are urging all parties to avoid actions that could escalate the situation. The focus is on de-escalation and dialogue. The United Nations has called for calm and restraint. They are urging both Israelis and Palestinians to step back from the brink. The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting to discuss the situation. They reiterated the need for a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Many world leaders have echoed these sentiments. They are engaging in frantic diplomatic efforts to prevent further violence.
The message is clear: violence is not the answer. The only way forward is through dialogue and diplomacy.
The international community is united in its call for peace. It is a race against time to prevent the situation from spiraling out of control.
The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh is a tragic setback for peace in the Middle East. The path forward is uncertain and the challenges are immense. However, the international community must not give up hope. The fragile peace process must be salvaged. This will require dialogue, compromise, and a commitment to peace from all sides. It will also require the active involvement of the international community. The stakes are incredibly high. The alternative to peace is unthinkable. Another war in the Middle East would have devastating consequences for the entire region. It is a future that must be avoided at all costs. the international community must remain steadfast in its pursuit of peace. The hope, however faint, is that this tragedy will serve as a wake-up call. The time for peace is now.